Hello, it is I, it is Cree. It's good to see you guys again. Well, not really seeing anyone, I've seen myself, but it's good to be in front of the camera talking to you guys again. Um, I want to say thank you for the support on my first video. Um, it's kind of surreal, you know. People actually watch my video. It's actually out there. I can't like say I don't want to do this shit anymore. Even if I say I want to do, I don't want to do anymore. I can't make people unsee it. Fascinating, crazy. I wonder what it's like if I ever get, or when I eventually get millions of views. Jesus Christ. I see why niggas go crazy over this internet shit, dog. Um, yeah, okay. Today I want to, I don't know, as we're in July, well, early July at the moment, the second half of the year, you know, it's technically another opportunity to say Happy New Year, if that makes sense. Yeah, you know, happy second half, happy new second half of the year. That makes no sense. But what I'm trying to say is basically all the resolutions that you maybe didn't start and you feel like you've kind of missed it. It's another new year basically. Maybe some shit wasn't, maybe like for some shit the season of January to June wasn't ideal. Like if I wanted to start skating in January, the weather is not ideal. Well, not that it's not ideal, but it's darkish. It's dark and shit, man. It's dark by 4 p.m. But whereas in July, you can keep skating till like 10 p.m. You know, if you want to learn different things, pick up new skills, you don't have to wait till 2025. You know, you've got another whole set of 6 months. Well, less than 6 months now, but you've got a whole bunch of time, basically. Um, any resolutions you didn't hit in the first half of the year, I think you still have more than enough time to try to hit it again. If you want to get into the gym, if you want to whatever skill you want to pick up. I mean, shit, I want to start playing my piano again. I don't know when, but soon. I want to. It's in my plans, you know. Um, Today's video is going to be more of my, yeah, the first half of my year. Just looking back at it, I guess reviewing it. What did I do well? What did I not do well? What could I be better at? I don't know how much I'll cover in this video, but I'll start by breaking it up into Q1, Q2. So we're thinking what? January, February, March. And where did we start? Okay, so January, I had jury service for the first time on the 2nd of Jan, which was quite something. Like, why'd I have jury service on the 2nd of January, bro? Like, I was getting crazy drunk and wasted the day before, and now I have to be in court debate, you know, deciding over someone's life. Sadly, though, although I was in jury service, although I had to go to the court for like 9 days. I never actually got to be on a case, which is kind of dead, man. You know, I remember when I came back home and my siblings were like, "What happened? How was it?" And I was like, "Guys, I just sat there. This was the first day. I just sat there from 9 a.m. till 3:30 p.m. not doing shit, just sitting there in the jurors' lounge with a whole bunch of other jurors. No one's even talking to each other. Everyone's just there staring on their phones. I was conking. I was sleeping, waking up, sleeping, waking up, sleeping, waking up. I'll sleep. They would announce some shit over the machines. I'll think, oh, are they about to say my name? No, they're not about to say my name. So I'm going back to sleep. On my third day there, though, 4th of January. The only reason I remember this so well is because it made me feel good. So I was a bit late, which is bad. Um, but in my defense, they didn't text me what time to come in on the third day. So I was a bit late. Then I go into like the juror manager's office to say, you know, hey, I'm here just so you can check me in or whatever. And she was like, oh, are you a personal trainer? And I'm like, no. And she's like, oh, you look like you're in great shape, so and so, da da da. And obviously I'm there blushing and shit, and I'm like, oh my god, stop it. You know, my girlfriend won't like it. And then you know, and she's like, oh my God, don't worry about that. You know, she can keep you to us. She can, you know, she gets to keep you. Let the rest of us just look. And bro, I was just there like a schoolgirl, blushing. Those are the exact words I used in my journal. That I was blushing like a schoolgirl. And as if that wasn't enough, The other juror was like, "Oh, I recognize your piece of paper because your handwriting is very neat," which is something I take pride in because I need my handwriting to be very neat. Not that I need it to be very neat, but I like the fact that people see my handwriting as very neat because I think my handwriting is very neat. I'm obsessed with my handwriting basically. So, um, if you want to get into good graces with me, tell me I've got an amazing handwriting and you'd probably succeed. We'd become friends pretty quickly. I start to think it's a pretty cool guy or girl, you know? Um, what else happened in January? Whole bunch of interviews, of course. Had my sister's birthday, that was nice. Had my boy's birthday at the end of the month, that was also nice. Uh, Gosh, I had a couple interviews that got cancelled on me. I had a one of my interviews actually spilled into February. But once we get to February, I'll give more detail on that. Um, my girlfriend came back from Kenya, like I think the day I actually started jury service, but I didn't actually see her for like a week or so. And when we actually just met up, when we finally saw each other, we played so much It Takes Two. Like it's such a fantastic game. But then for some reason, like our momentum in the game just died, so I actually need to get back on that with her. Um, I also like implemented a couple of new habits on a few more things I'm trying to track. Um, well, not that a few more things I'm trying to track, but more like I actually managed to achieve like my first 6 mark a day, you know, which at the point was a big deal because 6 markers for most of last year I operated with like 3. Then eventually I started adding more to make it 4, 5, 6. But then even when I added all 6, there wasn't really a day where I got to actually hit all 6 habits or all 6 habits I wanted to track. So I managed to do that in January, and that was good. It's a nice feeling when I'm, marking my calendar in my journal, and I've went through like 6 of my markers. It's a pretty nice feeling. Um, Also in January was when I started to really embody the whole my personal movement of I can move mountains. It's something I tell myself every day. In my journal, I end every single day in my journal with the phrase. Is it a phrase? I don't know. With the sentence, I can move mountains. You know, and what? I believe I know I can move mountains because sometimes I'll be in the gym and I'm bench pressing and I'm thinking, okay, I can move mountains. So however much weight is on this bar, it ain't gonna kill me, man. I can move mountains, baby. What are you talking about? Like, it's what it is. I also made the commitment in January to do a 40-day fast. Uh, just to get closer to God. Um, which I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed. It's kind of so crazy to think all of this shit happened this year. Uh, but yeah. Overall, though, January was a good month. I think it was a great month to start the year with. I never expect January to be my best month of the year anyway. But it wasn't this. That made it sound like it was bad. It wasn't bad. It was a great month. I feel like it set me up well for the year. I managed to get some things moving, get some things in motion. So that was pretty nice. Obviously carried on journaling and going to gym or whatever. Carried on sending applications, getting interviews and all that bullshit. Um, Moving on to February now, though. February was a busy month, despite it being the shortest month of the year. So for Feb, what did I start doing? I started watching Solo Leveling, which I never actually finished. I got to like episode 6. I know it's pretty good, but I need to actually just get to finishing it. Um, what else? My girlfriend got me this spray, magnesium spray, that's meant to help me sleep better, but I, I don't know. I don't think it actually worked. I don't think it actually worked. All it did is it made my feet feel weird because I'd spray it on my feet because they're apparently meant to spray it on your feet, and yeah, it made my feet feel weird, and it had this weird like texture to it, which is some shit. I started learning Power BI. I didn't finish it though. I didn't finish it, so I need to go back to doing that. Um, Also took part in this thing called the Hallelujah Challenge. I don't know if you've never heard about it. It's yeah, it's just a praise and worship service led by a pastor called Nathaniel Bassi. Yeah, basically, you know, if you're ever interested, just yeah, Google that name, Nathaniel Bassi Hallelujah Challenge. It's pretty nice, you know. I'd encourage everyone to do it. You know, there's no downside. Yeah, there's no downside. Um, Now here's the fun bit. February gets very fun around the 12th of February. So going back to January now, I had an interview with a company that reached out to me all the way in December, and we had the interview mid-January because obviously I had jury service. So I didn't have any interviews during those weeks. During those 2 weeks I had jury service. Um, so I have my interview the third week of or the third week of January, and I don't hear back for like 12 days up until the last day of January. Oh, hiccups. Gosh, wow, such terrible timing. Um, yeah. So I don't have my interview. I don't have my follow up from that interview up until the very last day in December of January. At this point, I thought I was getting ghosted, but so when they emailed me, I was like, oh yeah, great. Um, so I tried to set up an interview. They told me the interview's like another 12 days away. Sure, I don't mind. Gives me a lot of time to practice because it's meant to be a 3 hour interview. A 3 hour interview, by the way. I can't. You know what? Looking backward, looking not backward, but looking back, I can't imagine if I actually did that whole 3 hours and I didn't get the job. I can't imagine that. 3 hours. Damn. In fact, in preparation for this 3 hour interview, I went to gym on a Sunday. I never work out on Sundays because, you know, even God rested on the seventh day, bro. So I want to rest too. But I was like, you know what? I don't want to be there on Monday in this interview thinking, when am I going to get my leg day done? So I decided to get this done on Sunday. I go to the gym on Sunday, so I make sure so I can have my Monday free. So Monday comes by now, and I wake up at 9 a.m. Obviously, I start off the day well. Um, you know, I go to brush my teeth. It's probably like 9:10 a.m. at this point, or like 9:12 or some shit. And my phone is ringing whilst I got my toothbrush in my mouth, so I don't pick up the phone. And then shortly after, I get a text and again email. I'm thinking, who the hell is trying to reach me this desperately, this early in the morning? I check the text now, and it's a HR person from from the company that obviously I'm meant to interview for on this day. And in this interview, I had to do a 3 hour presentation. Well, I had to get a presentation ready, not a 3 hour presentation, but I had to get a presentation ready. And over the weekend, I was working on the presentation. I got some help from my girlfriend in terms of designing because it's amazing at that. I got some help from my brother as well, just to make sure I ace this shit because the nigga was tired of being unemployed. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, this text is basically saying, "Hey, Cree, the interview we had today, we had to cancel that because we went with internal candidates. No, not internal candidates. No, that's a whole different company. Oh Jesus, I need to probably make a video talking about my unemployment journey because shit was crazy. The job market's insane. Um, but yeah, so this lady has texted me at 9:12 in the morning telling me that basically they've given offers to two candidates last week. So you knew you gave offers to two candidates last week, but you didn't email me or let me know last week so I don't spend my weekend preparing for this interview. I wasn't very pleased, to be honest. I wasn't very pleased. But what surprised me the most was my ability to just push past that. Like, that happened, and I think I just sat there thinking, there's no way this shit is real life, man. There's no way this shit just happened to me. I spent, how long I spent the entire weekend trying to make sure I get this shit right. And it's all for nothing? Damn. Damn. And I was so like, but I wasn't even angry. It was just like, there's just that feeling of, this can't be my life. But somehow, some way, I managed to channel all of that energy into some positivity. So I was just like, you know what? Let me just work on my CV, man. Let me just get my head out of this shit. Let me just work on my CV. Like, yeah, I was getting interviews, but I was like, okay, let me put in some more work. Let me see what I can do better in this case. I don't, looking back now, I don't even know how I had the mental strength to do that, because, damn. Sometimes I'll be reading the journal thinking, damn, poor guy. I'd hate to be him, boy, on that particular day. But, yeah, so I started working on my CV. Um, which kind of distracted me. I was at the school with my friends as well. That kind of distracted me as well. Um, and one of my boys actually asked me. I do weekly reviews with him all the time. Oh, we've been slacking recently, but he asked me like, do I ever surprise myself with how resilient I am? And I was, sometimes like I guess the answer sometimes is yes. Like yeah, some shit happens, and I guess my ability to kind of just push past it and just keep it stepping kind of does surprise me myself as well. Um, but I don't know. I think because I just feel like my story is not really I don't know, my story. I'm just here. I don't know how to describe this shit, man. I'm losing track of shit. I'm losing track. Where are we at? Yeah. So this company has basically dogged me on the day of my interview. But on the plus side, on this actual day, I hit my record low weight for the year. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, they dogged me through all my interviews and whatever, and they basically hold me, right? They hold me. It's whatever. It's what it is. I have to eat it. I have to hold it. The good part is I stepped on the scale, record low weight. You know what I'm saying? There was progress somewhere in my life. Maybe not on the employment side of things, but at least in the gym side of things, I'm making great progress at this point. So that's all right. That's all right. Um, yeah, I guess also on this day I also came to like really understand that like every undesirable I guess situation we go through sometimes. Yeah, like every undesirable situation is just another step on the path of greatness or the path to greatness rather. I guess, you gotta go there's a song by Elzai, I think it's called Medicine Man, and it says you gotta go through the ups and downs to get the W, and it's. Yeah, sometimes I just think of shit like that, like, you know what? This is just a down. It couldn't possibly get worse than that, right? So, yeah, fortunate to find out it didn't actually get worse than that, because I wouldn't have been there today, boy. Um, I started carrying on working on my CV now. The next day, a lady calls me, and she's like, "Oh, I saw you applied to this job, and I think you'd be a great candidate. Um, I just need you to put in a few things on your CV because we have a conversation, and everything I said, she's like, "That's great. You just don't have that shit on your CV. Put it on there." But then the reason I had the great thing to say about my CV is because those were the changes I spent. Those were the changes I made the day from the day before. So it was almost I was thinking, oh wow, this is perfect timing. Um, I didn't get that job, but it was like the best experience I could have had because I had to do an in-person interview, and I've not had to do an in-person interview like ever. So it was pretty nerve-wracking when the time actually came. I had to find trousers that fit me and a shirt that fits me because big ass muscles. Gosh, it's a hard life, man. But I managed to scrub up well, go to the interview. I think I did great. I held a lot of eye contact, and it also kind of reinforced to me that I kind of know what I'm talking about because a lot of my interviews, well, not a lot, pretty much all my interviews before this point was over, Zoom or Teams or whatever. So I'm able to basically have like my notes on my screen as I'm doing the interview and whatever. So this was a different experience. And it really gave me a lot of much needed confidence. So I was actually really grateful for it. Um, I don't think I didn't actually want to work there. If I got the job, I would have worked there, of course, because a nigga gotta eat. But I don't think I actually wanted to work there. So I guess on one hand, it was, divine intervention, we can call it. Um, what else happened? What else happened? So in February, yeah, my 40-day fast that I started in January ended in February, and the day I ended it, a couple of my boys came over. We went round to like a canal near mine, and we just chilled. It was a great time. It was a very great time. It's one of those memories I'll remember for a long ass time. Shout out to my niggas, man. Um, and also had one of my boys' birthdays as well. Went to a nice Somali restaurant. I love Somali food, man. These man, the portion sizes are amazing. So if you man ever wanna, take me somewhere, if everyone plays safe, go Turkish, go Somali. The portion sizes are amazing. This headset thing, it's really bad. Like it's obviously I don't notice it because I don't see myself on camera when I'm not recording. But it's just like, damn. I mean, it's also in my room as well, so it's not that bad. But gosh, I can't be presenting myself to the world like this. Don't worry, guys. I will change this shit soon. No, I'll look like a serious YouTuber very soon. Very, very soon. Just let me cook. Let me cook. Um, I progressively got stronger over the year as well in terms of like gym and shit. Uh, Even just think to where I am now. Some of the weights I was struggling with at the start of the year, I do that shit for my lazy days now, which is pretty. It's nice to talk. It's nice to say. I'm proud of myself. I've come a long way. I've come a long way. Um, but yeah, that was February. February was very interesting. One of the so the job I currently have now, they actually hit me up in January. Then they went radio silent for like 4 weeks up until the end of February when they hit me up again, which I was great to. I was really happy to hear from them. Had some interviews set up for early March, and yeah, so March rolls by, and there was a day in March where one of my boys, he came over for a brief while, and it was pretty late at night as well. Probably like, oh, sorry, probably like 9:30 or something like that. And we had a good time. We chilled for like 2 hours or something. I walked him back to the bus stop. When I remember clearly, as I was walking home, I was just thinking like, damn, you know what? I really needed that. Sometimes you hang out with your friends or your partner or whoever it is, and you're just like, I really needed that. And, just had me thinking how you really just, like, your friends and the people in your life really do a lot for your mental health. And you don't even realize it sometimes. You don't really realize it. But, they do these things. And, shout out to them. Shout out to all of them. I appreciate all of you for real, dog. Even you guys watching my videos and, you know, eventually commenting and shit. I appreciate it. It's nice. Um, yeah. What else happened in March? March was definitely my best month by far. Not in terms of habits, though. In terms of habits tracked, February was my best month. I absolutely smashed it. Absolutely smashed it in terms of like the colors and shit. Let me get my journal out just to show you just how good February was. I think in order of tracked habits, the best was definitely February, then January, then March. But in my defense, March we finally had the breakthrough we're going for. So you know what? I deserve to live a little, man. I ain't gotta be doing flipping insanity. Like, let me rest a little bit. So here is January. Huh, it looks pretty nice on camera. But yes, it has all these habits I'm talking about. This is what I mean when I say I have a 6 mark a day, something like this. Um, and then here is February. Look at how colorful February looks, man. Like, look at this shit. Cooking, absolutely cooking. This is. This feels like I feel like if I was to compare this to a football player, this is like 19, not 19. This is like 2012 Messi, basically. I was on my 2012 Messi shit in February. And here is March. It's not horrible. It's just not as good as the other ones. Like it don't look as colorful. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever. Um. Anyway, yeah. So in March, I finally um have this massive breakthrough where I get this wonderful job that I've been wanting to get all this while. Um. I experienced a state of like I guess, euphoria, relief, joy, peace that I've never actually experienced before. Um, I don't know. I just really feel like that I had a massive breakthrough, which I did, of course. Um, but I didn't just have it like in terms of like work. I also had like a massive breakthrough like spiritually, like with God, because I mean everything I have is like God's blessed me with it, and I just had that thought of like, bro, like I'm not a perfect Christian by any means, you know. I don't go to church every Sunday, you know. I pray most days. I probably not prayed like maybe 5 days this year, but I pray most days. But I still, I don't know. I'm not perfect. I sin. I still, sin even though I try not to. But yet God chose to bless me. God chose to take my shame away, even though I am undeserving of His blessings. Like my prayers didn't entitle me to any of His blessings. Like just because I prayed, don't mean my prayers deserves to be answered. That's what I'm trying to say over here. Um, so it really gave me a whole new appreciation for God, man. Like honestly, with Him by my side, I can do anything. That's why I say I can move mountains. That's genuinely why I say I can move mountains, because with God by my side, I can genuinely move mountains. Um, maybe it will happen one day. I might just take flipping Everest to Nigeria or some shit. Yeah. Or I might put Kilimanjaro in Kenya, because my girlfriend says that it's in Kenya, even though it's not. It's in Tanzania. Um, she's gonna be mad at me when she sees this part of the video. But yeah. Uh, what else happened in March? In March, I went to a Domo Genesis concert, which was a really nice experience. On the day of the day I went to the Domo Genesis concert, I forgot that was the day of the concert. I knew I had a Domo Genesis concert in March. I just didn't know what day it was. So I was here thinking it was on like a Wednesday, but the following week's Wednesday. Till my boy who bought the tickets was like, "We're linking up at 5 p.m." I'm like, "Why are we linking up at 5 p.m.?" It's like the concert, which, yeah, that was a hectic day because I also had a second stage interview at my current role with my manager who was also yet to start. So it was pretty fascinating. I had to somehow squeeze in interview, gym, and then be at our meeting point at like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. or something. But that was a very fun day. That was a very fun day. It's a day I'll remember fondly. Plus, Domo Genesis is a great rapper, man. Like nothing to complain about. Um, and I think towards the end of March, my younger sister got baptized, and that was it was really nice to see. It's pretty surreal. I guess always seeing the walks those around me take with God, or just in spirit, or the walks they take in spirituality in general. It's pretty. I guess it's eye-opening. It's like there's no right way to do anything. You know, everyone has their own journey, type of stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, I've been rambling for a while now. Gosh, this is gonna be a long ass video. But yeah, I mean, that's been my Q1. We'll get into Q2 another time. Overall, I'll say, I mean, Q1 was great. It was really great. Um, it wasn't. There were definitely parts that weren't great to live through. I'll tell you that shit for free. Like obviously waking up and realizing the prep I did for an interview don't mean shit anymore. Um, but all of that was worth it because, bro, there's like a 5 day stretch in March, from about March 20th to March 24th, where you could have told me I'm in heaven, and I would have believed you, bro. I was just floating. You know what I'm saying? It felt like everything that younger me worked towards finally came together. And I guess I want to kind of use that to end this video in terms of like, if you're working towards something, I know it's just yeah, this is just a job or whatever. It don't really matter. But yeah, the main point is, if you're working towards something, I think you should keep going and just don't stop. Just keep showing up, keep that consistency, because one day, like the future you is going to benefit from all the hard work you've done previously. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say I want to get a 100, I want to get a 180 kg bench. If I want to do that, for instance, I'm not just gonna wake up tomorrow and hit it. I have to keep working, 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 working between now and however long it takes me to do it. But the day I hit it, I am going to have. I know for a fact I'm going to be floating. I'm gonna be all the way up there. See, the way my arm is out camera, that's how it's gonna be. I'm gonna be all the way over there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be in the heavens. I'm gonna be floating, feeling happy as shit. You know. So basically, you're not working for your current self. It's bigger than you. You're working for future you, because the future you is what is watching. You know, there's a video I saw on YouTube, I think by a guy called Profound Pondering. Yeah, I think that's that. Yeah, that's the name. And he said the you of tomorrow is watching, and that's really what it is. You know, in my journal, let me end. Well, I said I was gonna end somewhere before, but there's a bit where I say, where is it? Basically, yes, future Cree is dependent on me, the same way that present Cree dependent on the past Cree to get us here. You know, your future you is dependent on you to get you to where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? So wherever it is you're working on, if it's some shit like you're playing the piano or you're learning a new skill, there's going to be a day as you keep going where you're going to basically cross a certain threshold, or you're going to have an experience where you just realize, damn, I'm really nice at this shit. And you're going to be very grateful, or not great, yeah, grateful and happy that you carried on working at this thing. You know, it's like if you, yeah, it's like training for a competition and you eventually win the competition. Even if you don't win the competition, the fact that you're able to perform at such a high level where you can compete, because there's so many other people who probably do what you, whatever it is you're trying to work on, or whatever project it is. Most many people have attempted that project and given up or whatever, but I think you just got to keep going. You just got to keep going. It's definitely one. That's definitely what I would take from my Q1. Like for me personally, anyway, my Q1 showed me that, bro, I can do anything. Um, yeah, it might take me a long ass time, but as long as I stay committed and I stay focused and I stay consistent, you know, and I have keep the faith, I pray, I can do anything. I know that for sure, you know. And if I can do anything, you on the other screen you can do anything, man. I always tell people like there's nothing I can do that is special, you know, except like clutching the Counter Strike. I'm way better than like many people at that because I've been there before so many times, so many times. But thank you for watching, guys. I know this has been a long video. Hopefully, probably slap this shit on in the background or some shit. But yeah, it's good to see you again. I'll see you soon for Q2. Um, I think Q2 will be probably shorter than Q1. Uh, yeah. If we maybe in the future we'll talk in more detail about specific periods in Q1 and the true downs and the true ups. I mean, the true ups I've already said all those things, but the true downs, boy, I'm trying to depress us, man. We're meant to be here to have a good time. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for your support so far. Um, I'll try my hardest to not take as long as I did in between videos as I did this time. Uh, but yeah, for the time being, that's it. Goodbye from me. Goodbye from Cree. Thank you. Take care, guys.